Well, in cooperative sense, we have to ask ourselves, what do we mean by good governance?
Okay.
And I think the fundamental principle of good governance is having a constitution that recognizes your right as a citizen. And the fact that you have the right to vote out your leaders when you feel that they are not meeting up to your aspirations. And also the right to expression. And then the right to accountability of those in power.
Yes.
Under the military, they were not accountable to the people, and they were not even accountable to themselves. Nobody was talking about EFCC, that you can even write a petition. We are talking about, security vote and all that. In those days, they had security votes, but you dare not ask questions. And then when you are looking at military rule, the damage they did to the psyche of Nigerians is more than cultural genocide. In terms of our values, in terms of our culture, in terms of our heritage, in terms of our educational system. You may not realize that the kind of books we used to use in those days that emphasize education with culture, those books are no longer available to us. That we use in primary schools, secondary schools, and all that. And this is something it's very difficult to quantify it in terms of the destruction of our culture and our values. Today, when you see people driving on the street with a lot of aggression, you see people talking with a lot of aggression. When you go to Ghana, people jumping queue. In South Africa, we are noted for being, not having respect for rules, lack of discipline. It's a reflection of the sociology of military rule that was impacted on Nigerians.
Really?
It leads to a kind of perversion of your orientation. For instance, when you are drinking pure water, this water, we call it poor water, but actually it's poor water. When they take light, people shout up NEPA. So the values of what is right and wrong has been distorted by military culture. And that's why you see these days that people, instead of going to court, they will resort to self-help. The growth of courtism, people trying to join courtism in schools and all that, started with military. Because people no longer had confidence in institutions. So you have to resort to resolving conflict by yourselves. When there is a conflict on the road, maybe you hit your car, you come out, you want to beat the other person. You see people using stickers, military, on your car. Even somebody will put in his house, military zone, don't come near.
Beware.
Because there's a sick mentality. And that has impacted on our behavior, locally and internationally. It has impacted on our culture, on our heritage, on discipline, on character. And I tell you, it's akin to cultural genocide. It will take out a lot of years to be able to delegitimize our mental orientation. And it impacts on our politics when you are talking about rigging during the election, people resorting to violence, because under the military, might is right. What is right is defined by the gun. And when you are talking about the emergence of terrorism, the emergence of violence, it's as a result of the culture we have built over the years, for 27 years, that you don't have to, if somebody has aggrieved you, you don't need to go to court. Fight it out, look for gun and settle this cause. Because that was the culture under the military. So it's a sociological, perversion of our heritage, which will take us a long time to get out of it.
So has democracy delivered?
Well, in terms of the quality of, life, how many universities do we have when the military people were there? We are talking about almost 300 universities now. That time, there was not even no right for you to establish private universities. Lagos alone should be having not less than 50 radio stations. Under the military, we had only one radio station, private radio station, owned by Ray Power.
Yes.
How many TV stations do we have under the military in those days? We have only one private television station, Ray Power. Today,
and that was towards the end.
Towards the end. Now, they were determined to ensure that we don't have access to internet. They were determined that we don't have access to communications, because those companies were never registered. So when you look in terms of the, achievements, the variables, I think we are better off compared with where we are in those days.
Oh, okay.
At least people now, today you can go to court, you can challenge government. There were demonstrations today.
Yes.
I know how many people were killed in my time, right in my eyes, watching it, that people were shot because they decided to go to the streets to demonstrate. You know how many schools were shot, universities shot for so many years. Many students never graduated. UI, UNN.
Zaria,
we were having a demonstration at UNN in 1987. And the DSS came and shot their way, kidnapped our 7 students and took them away. So a lot of things have changed. And if you are not careful, if you are looking at the challenges we have now, you may not be able to appreciate, but you need to live through, be historical, and look at those facts, analyze them to realize that we are making progress. We will be very slow, but we are not moving backwards.
But we are not moving
Especially